Please be seated. I declare this congregation for the celebration of our graduates open. Good afternoon and welcome to your graduation ceremony. It's wonderful to welcome you all here in person at last. I'm Professor Ian Buchan. I'm Chair in Public Health and Clinical Informatics and Executive Dean of the Institute of Population Health, which is home to the School of Health Sciences. First, I'd like to say what a privilege and a pleasure it is to be here with you today as we celebrate this important milestone in your lives, together with your families and fellow students, your lecturers, and all of those of you who've supported you on the journey to graduating from the University of Liverpool. 30 years ago, like you, I sat with my family as a graduate, waiting to graduate from this university, qualified to start my first clinical role. Your graduation ceremony today is an opportunity to reflect and to look ahead. And I recall that it's a time of mixed emotions. I remember feeling happy that my studies had been completed and sad that that chapter of my life at university had come to an end, and excited with a little trepidation about the road ahead. But for you, of course, it's been very different because you've been students of the COVID-19 pandemic, learning how to be health professionals at a time of extreme need, like no other in living memory. Students in all universities over the country and all around the world have been hit hard by disruption to their education that this pandemic has caused. Your university experience has been a different one to the one you may have expected. At times, it will have been very difficult. Your experience and well-being are at the forefront of our decision-making. But for over the past 22 months, we've had to carefully consider and balance so many decisions around your teaching arrangements and your safety on campus. I know it's not been easy for you. I know you've had long days, sleepless nights, and difficult times, exacerbated by these unique and global circumstances. COVID-19 has devastated and divided communities and continues to do so. But it's also brought out the best in human spirit. Our university prides itself on facing big challenges with and for society, putting our hands up and saying, we're here as scholars and volunteers to help. You have, as students and health professionals, shown remarkable spirit and dedication. You've lived at the highest values of your noble professions, showing care, compassion, respect, and skill. You're the people who stepped up when you were needed the most, and you gave your best to help our NHS and the people we serve during the worst of times. You undertook your clinical placements in the most difficult circumstances. At the time, there was no vaccination program, PPE was in short supply, and no one could be sure what the future held. You stepped up. You stepped up at the most vulnerable and critical time in the history of the NHS. Over the past 22 months, we've received multiple messages from the NHS partners you've worked with and from Health Education England, expressing their gratitude for all of your work and praise for the quality of those endeavours, which have contributed so much to the pandemic responses. You've truly been NHS and University of Liverpool heroes. Thank you. And you've demonstrated your learning through all of this. Perseverance, dedication, resilience, and flexibility. You didn't do it alone, though no doubt there'd been many times when you felt lonely and even scared. You did it supporting one another and being supported by your fellow health professionals in the NHS, by your teachers here in the university, and by your family and friends. You and your families should be proud of this. And we in the university, and I speak for the whole university, and especially for Denise Prescott, Dean of the School of Health Sciences, and all of her staff, are immensely proud of your courage, your adaptability, your perseverance, and real commitment to others by delivering high-quality patient care. We're inspired by you and what you have achieved. Today is about you, your achievements and personal successes here at the University of Liverpool. It's a day to look forward and to be inspired by the careers and maybe future studies ahead of you. Most of all, it's a day to celebrate everything you've achieved and enjoy the moment with your loved ones, with those who've studied alongside you and with those you've learnt from. It's also a day to return to this great city and receive a warm welcome from your university. We hope you and your guests will join us after the ceremony for a drop-in reception at the Mountford Hall in the Guild. We hope that the city of Liverpool will always feel like home whenever you return. You may have chosen to stay here and make the city your home. You may have already called it home when you joined in your first year. We hope that whatever your relationship with this city, it's a place where you've made friends and memories that will last a lifetime. You're the first of our students to graduate in this building, the Yoko Ono Lennon Center, the newest addition to our campus. Music's a point of pride for anyone, like me, originally from the city, and anyone choosing to make Liverpool their home. It may even be one of the reasons that you came here to study and to live. Dare I say, music's almost as important as football in this city, and a sense of humour. One way or another, music brings us together, and it's a reason why so many people want to visit and feel the beating heart of Liverpool's culture. So it feels particularly appropriate to hold this graduation ceremony here in a wonderful new space dedicated to teaching, performance, and enjoyment of music for all. The teaching and learning facilities you've experienced during your time here at the university have helped your lecturers train you to become skilled, compassionate, and resilient in your chosen career, ready to practice in a changing world. You've been stretched to think beyond the textbook, beyond the lectures theatre, the laboratory, and you've been encouraged to apply your knowledge in the world around you. By being places of debate, universities are one of our most important pillars of civil society. Your University of Liverpool education has enabled you to realise just how far you can go and provided you with the skills you need to get there. Higher education is built on a spirit of collaboration. The free flow of ideas and knowledge depends on that. Our university makes a huge difference to people's lives, locally, nationally, globally. I'm enormously proud to represent an institute full of students whose skills, energy, and insights will solve the problems we face in the world today and the challenges of the future. When I qualified in 1991, we'd just been through 6 years of starting to understand HIV and caring for people with heartbreaking cases of AIDS as best we could. In my first week at medical school in 1985, there was much speculation over what was then called human T lymphotropic virus type 3, or HTLV3, later named the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. A year later, TV screens and newspapers were filled with the Don't Die of Ignorance campaign. The race was on to discover drugs that would block the virus from replicating and to try and reuse old drugs. I was inspired at that time to intercalate here at Liverpool in pharmacology, from which I graduated in 1989, and 2 years later graduating in medicine. At that time, AIDS was the leading cause of death amongst men aged 25 to 44 in the US, and research was underway to find combinations of drugs to control the virus with minimum toxicity to patients. Now a person diagnosed with HIV and treated promptly can have a near normal life expectancy. In the days between me graduating and starting as a pre-registration doctor in 1991, Tim Berners-Lee put up the first website. At the time, I had to search medical literature in the Cohen Library in a Medline terminal. Yet the personal computer revolution was in full swing, and I could see that in future my colleagues would be dealing with a lot of data. As a student, then a junior doctor, I wrote early statistical software to help medical researchers crunch their own numbers. And I went on to have a dual career between public health medicine and data science. I always remember how encouraging my teachers were at Liverpool, of this unusual medic who wrote software and enjoyed analysing data. In 1996, I left to work in Cambridge and then Manchester, returning to my Liverpool home 22 years later. Through the current pandemic, I've experienced here in Liverpool some of the best health data science and civic teamwork of my entire career. From producing the world's first evidence on mass testing for people without COVID symptoms to reopening live music events for the first time in the Northern Hemisphere with data-driven safety measures, Liverpool wasn't afraid to break the mold, continuing 170 years of pioneering public health work. Liverpool tends to beg forgiveness rather than permission when it comes to doing the right thing promptly. I am truly proud to be a graduate of this bold civic university. So what will change in your professional careers? Will you come to interact with a patient's digital twin or health avatar before you see them? Certainly during your careers, there'll be new technologies. Hopefully patient outlooks will be better, improved as we move towards more prevention that supports better journeys of care, not just the pit stops at treatment centres. Hopefully you'll see the NHS evolve as a health service, not just a sickness service. And most of you will spend your careers in the NHS, which is a constantly changing organisation, and which remains, for all its flaws, the best health service in the world. But some things won't change for you. I'll flag up 3. The need to be a lifelong learner, just as you have been during the pandemic. Now and for the rest of your career, the need to commit yourself to always being curious and asking questions, and to always striving to do things better. This is the paradox of graduation. We tell you here today that you're ready to be let loose on the public, but once you are, you quickly understand how little any of us really knows. So listen to your patients and your communities. Always question whether you're doing the right things, and whether you're doing them as well as you possibly could. But also forgive yourself when we make mistakes. We all make mistakes and must learn from them. And you should always be a learner, but also be a teacher. Pass on what you know and how you learn to your colleagues and to the next generation of students. Second is the need to support one another as friends and colleagues, because you're members of great professions and they share the aim of improving health and well-being of our patients and communities. And the third is the very core of a caring profession. Never compromise on the compassion. Never compromise on the respect you show to your patients, or your own integrity and honesty, your willingness to go the extra mile because you can improve lives. You'll certainly see the most difficult times in people's lives. Your patients expect and deserve your complete commitment. There'll be many times when this is hard to give, when you're exhausted, frustrated, having a bad day. But however bad your day, your patient's probably having a worse one. Give your patient hope. Give your patient confidence in you, even at times you mightn't feel confident in yourself. Ease that worst affliction of all, which is fear. So smile, and maybe when COVID's passed, hug, shake hands, and sometimes offer a shoulder to cry on. Grab hold of each of 1,000 little moments and acts and gestures that can change the lives of your patients. These are the qualities that you've displayed in abundance over the past 22 months. And it reassures me that when I look at you, I know that I and thousands of others have these caring qualities and commitments. You're privileged to be part of great, noble professions. But those professions are privileged to have you as members too. I have one final piece of advice for you. Enjoy your work and your career. You probably won't get rich money-wise, but there are many other and more important rewards. And know what you do really matters. And that's a great thought to start and end every day. Some of you may pursue a research career. And in that, be proud the University of Liverpool has played a pivotal role in science and technology. Of our 9 Nobel laureates, they range across diverse fields, from the life cycle of the malarial parasite to nuclear disarmament. Our university has a long history of graduating, inspiring alumni who go on to achieve great things. And you're now joining that alumni community, a fundamentally important part of our University of Liverpool family. Our alumni community supports our students in many ways. Some you may have experienced while studying here, from delivering lectures and workshops to running alumni networks offering placements and mentoring. We hope that, like so many of our alumni, you'll stay in touch and help us guide and support our future students and broaden their horizons through your own experiences. It's through you that we are known. You are our greatest ambassadors. And through your achievements and the careers you will go on to have, you'll also become role models and an important source of inspiration for the next generation of graduates. This university has a profoundly civic mission. Ever since its red bricks were laid, to this day we remain committed to the city of Liverpool. Our role here as an anchor institution is something we celebrate. And we continue to invest in this great and unique city's health, society, culture, and economy. We are a university that takes pride in equality of opportunity and in widening access to students who are traditionally underrepresented in higher education. Learners from low participation neighbourhoods, caregivers, disabled students, estranged students, adult learners, asylum seekers and refugee students, and students from ethnic minority backgrounds. Knowledge should be celebrated, discussed, and debated, and it should be accessible to all. It's through the discussion and dissemination of ideas and knowledge that society is shaped. It's our aim to inspire, engage, and enable every single student to fulfill their potential by raising their awareness, challenging barriers, and providing opportunities. As a student here, you will have walked past a plaque, perhaps every day, fixed to our Victoria building, which reads, "For the advancement of learning and ennoblement of life." This is the foundation on which our university was built, and it's a motto that continues to guide us to this day in everything that we do. And I suspect you're planning to, or may have already posed in front of the building for a photograph. Am I right? It's a beautiful, iconic red brick gallery that towers over our campus and serves as a recognizable backdrop in most social media posts. The ordinary bricks are against dressed terracotta in a Gothic building, and that led to the phrase Red Brick University by Bruce Truscott, a pseudonym adopted by someone who was a professor of Spanish here in 1922 to 1952, Edgar Alison Piers. He wrote an influential book about the Red Brick University, of those originating in the 19th century. Indeed, we are and always will be the original Red Brick University, and you will always be Liverpool originals. Since those early months of 2020 that made an indelible mark on our lives, the entire world has changed in a way that's inconceivable to us back then. The pandemic has had a profound effect on everyone's life and has made us truly appreciate our loved ones and the experiences and memories we all make together. I want to take a moment to celebrate the role that your loved ones, perhaps family, perhaps friends, perhaps both, have played in your success. I hope today that you will find a moment to thank them for their support and personal sacrifice. For family, friends, lecturers and placement leads, and all who have supported you on your journey, today is a day of celebration for them too. Whatever challenges you've experienced during your time with us, remember that through hard work, determination, and a strong support network, you overcame all. Your capacity to think critically and challenge honestly, forged by the teaching staff, your classmates, and our community, will help prepare you for whatever comes next. This is your well-earned opportunity to take a moment and consider just how far you have come. Despite the challenges, I hope that you'll remember many happy and joyful moments at the University of Liverpool in your time here. And not only from an academic perspective, of course, I know that through your time here, you will have forged connections and made friends who'll stay with you for life. Today's not the end, but rather a beginning of a new chapter in your lives. Graduation is about looking forward as well as back, and each of you has a promising future ahead. Whatever path you take, whichever opportunities you seize, you now have a much sought-after qualification from a world-renowned university. You have a range of experiences and have developed a carefully honed set of skills which will serve you well. And you have our ongoing support as you start your career. A University of Liverpool degree is the best preparation that you could have to take on most of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. And we look forward to hearing about all that you achieve. Students, you have demonstrated such resilience and motivation during your time with us. Never forget how important you are to our university. You're the beating heart of our institution. Without you, a university would be but classrooms and lecture halls. When we work together, university is a place where ideas are nurtured, discoveries are made, friendships are forged, career paths are decided on, and lives are changed. It's when we work together as staff and students that education is truly transformational. Thank you. I now invite Denise Prescott, Dean of our School of Health Sciences, to present the graduates from our class of 2021.
Professor Buchan, it gives me tremendous pleasure to present the graduates from the class of 2021. Neve Sarah Corey. Lauren Nutter. Madison Liliane Morel. Johannes Zarai Kiflon. Abida Ferdoz. Khadija Damban. Sarah Mann. Emily Page Alderson. Lucy Rose Lillian Randall. Blair Robert Newton. Rebecca Sarah Cooper. Nikki George. Amy McBride. Daniel Chung. James Bentley. Rianne Claire Ciocci. Ella Lucy Whitehead. Chelsea Hamilton. Justa Mocka Lunetta. Danielle Padmore.
I'd now like to invite Professor Gavin Brown, Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Education, to present one of the University Faculty Learning, Teaching and Student Experience Awards.
Good afternoon, everyone. Graduates, it gives me great pleasure and I'm incredibly proud to be here to share your graduation ceremony here with you today. I hope you know how proud the university is of you. Congratulations to you all. What you've achieved and what you've given in the last 2 years is nothing short of remarkable, and you should all be very proud of yourselves. Well done. It also gives me great pleasure to present today one of the university's Learning, Teaching and Student Experience Awards. These awards recognise, value and reward staff who have made an outstanding contribution to innovation in teaching and supporting your learning. Our university has numerous examples of exceptionally talented and committed staff who work extremely hard to ensure that our students receive an excellent experience whilst at university. Teaching and learning at Liverpool is undertaken within a culture of research excellence, and these awards reflect the value we place on providing a high-quality experience worthy of a Russell Group university. Our award winners being honoured today have been recognised for their innovative approach to interprofessional learning in the field of radiotherapy. Interprofessional learning is a vital aspect of training in radiation oncology professions, yet is rarely delivered to those professionals who work most closely together in clinical practice. Recognising this issue, a team from our School of Health Sciences and Clatterbridge Cancer Centre collaborated to create a scenario-based learning session that brought together postgraduate therapeutic radiographers, medical physics trainees, and radiation oncology registrars. The pilot project utilised a wide range of virtual reality and clinical equipment to simulate realistic and challenging radiotherapy scenarios for the participants to tackle in small mixed teams. The well-received session increased participants' teamwork and collaboration skills, as well as strengthening professional identities. Larger oncology-specific simulations are now planned, and the team believe this innovative approach to interprofessional learning could have wider use in other disciplines. Here today to collect the award from the School of Health Sciences is team representative Dr. Mike Kirby.
Professor Buchan, I am delighted to present to you the remaining graduates from the class of 2021. Poppy Louise Hadgrave. Alice May Deeming. Kate Halliwell. Reese Kelly. Neve O'Hara. Amy Barnes. Ellie Winning. Alexandra Pierpoint. Abby Rigdon. Claire Service. Oh, come back, come back, come back. No, come back. Sorry, don't film this bit. Right. That's Claire.
No, that's not my name either.
Hold on, just bear
Do you
with
want
us.
to know? My name's Laura.
Laura Anchors.
Yeah.
No card?
Don't worry.
Laura Anchors. Olivia Newell. Holly Keveran. Samantha Helen Platt. Kate Jennifer Buttram. William Griffith Lloyd Jones. Right, are we ready? Right, Malak Abdullah Mohammed Al-Mashakay. Ezra Ali Abdallah Al-Rubai. Georgia Smith. Jacob Daniel Robson. Megan Jones. Eleanor Titmus. Ellie Kirk. Lily Francesca Bennett. Saskia Jade Hinton. Sasha Rianne Forbes. Hannah May Cooper. Francesca Cork. Emily Apter. Martha Chaplin. Hannah Stanley. Shannon Elizabeth Girling. Kisra Azar. Nayab Adim. Lorelei Spray. Oliver Josbury. Faye Louise Hallowell. Okay. Georgia Elise Kyle.
I'd now like to invite Rebecca Cooper to join us on stage to reflect on their student experience.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, friends, family and fellow graduates of 2021, it is an honour to have the opportunity to speak to you today in celebration of our achievements over the last 3 years. Good afternoon. My name is Becky and I am graduating today with a degree in Diagnostic Radiography. I'd like to begin by congratulating my fellow graduates. I think most people would agree that this has been one of the most difficult university experiences with many unknowns, but we have endured them, overcome them and are better for them. Achieving a university degree is demanding in its own right, and we were thrown the extra challenge of COVID-19. We quickly had to adapt to a new method of teaching, online learning. This was challenging to say the least, especially with the fears of what was happening in the world, and I believe we should be commended for our ability to adapt to this change. If that wasn't hard enough, we then had to go into hospitals in the midst of a pandemic and provide quality care to patients who were extremely unwell and also anxious about the hospital environment. Although this has been testing, I know that we have given our all to every patient we've met and provided excellent care. I truly believe that if we could survive the last few years, and we have, then we can deal with any future challenges thrown our way and have a brilliant future ahead of us as healthcare graduates. I want to also acknowledge that we have all had to make personal sacrifices in order to keep our patients safe, and I hope everyone has had the opportunity to make up for lost time these past few months. I would also like to thank all academic and clinical staff who've helped us reach this day. Not only have us students had to adapt to changes to our university experience, staff have had to create new resources, adapt to teaching online and make changes to our placements to ensure we can graduate. Many a time I've gone to my academic advisor and clinical tutor looking for guidance and have always been met with incredible support and belief in my abilities. You can see how much staff truly care about their students, and for this I am grateful. It is amazing how far a simple conversation can go to make things better and help you on your way. I think the university experience is perfectly reflected by my ability to stand up in front of this podium. Most people who know me know that I suffer with social anxiety and started university nervous about making friends and the prospect of living in a new city all on my own. If you had told me then that I'd be giving a speech to my fellow students at graduation, I would have laughed and said you were lying. I would never have believed I could do this, and yet here I am, excited to deliver this speech, albeit with a bit of a shaky voice and shaky hands. That is what university can do to you. It can make you challenge yourself to do things you would have never thought possible, and I am grateful for university. It has changed me as a person, but for the better. The University of Liverpool has given us the skills we need to achieve all of our future goals. We are the future of the NHS, and I am excited to see the impact we can make on the NHS as a cohort. I have no doubt the future looks bright. I wish all fellow graduates success in the next chapter of your lives, and I'm humbled to have had this opportunity to congratulate everyone on their success. Thank you.
Thanks, Becky. I didn't hear a shaky voice or see any shaky hands at all. That was great. You reflected a very deep sentiment that I think we've all felt. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And many of you will come out stronger than you could possibly have been without all you've had to endure. You also mentioned the camaraderie, the working together. That's something that will be with you for life. It's not just what you know, it's what you feel and what you have felt. You know what you can do again when the going gets tough. So thank you for being there, pursuing your studies, being amazing volunteers in the NHS at the same time as learning. You have had some amazing lessons in life, and I wish you all the success and happiness in the world. I declare now this congregation for the celebration of our graduates closed. Salva sit universitas nostra, quod precantis consugamus.
Congratulations once again, everyone. To leave, if you want to just use the exit at the rear, don't forget